I'd like to point out how utterly unfair it was that they used both the Doomsday song and the Ninth Doctor's theme in this Christmas special. I wasn't prepared for that, there was no warning, and it brought back a lot of feels. On top of all the other feels in the episode. Hey guys, Forever Fangirl here, and today I'm back with another rant and review about Doctor Who. That rhymes. So I'm recording this the day after the Christmas special Twice Upon a Time was on. As usual, this is simply an opinion video. I respect everyone else's opinions, and I simply ask that you do the same for me. That said, I have some very mixed feelings about this Christmas special. I think the best way to do this is probably just to do what I did last time, where I just kind of listed a topic and then talked about it for a bit. I'd like to start with just talking about kind of the general plot overall. I think as a whole, the storyline was very heartwarming. It was interesting to see a story where there wasn't some great evil or impending doom coming to get the Doctor and his companions. That was good in a sense. But because of that, I found that the story kind of was very slow moving, I guess is the only way I can think of putting it. And I think it's because there was that lack of tension that it kind of seemed a bit slower. But it wasn't just that, it was kind of not very well put together. Don't get me wrong, it was still a good episode. Like, there were some great ideas and themes and stuff that they had in there, but I just think they could have done a lot more with it. I guess what I'm trying to say is, overall, I think it wasn't a bad episode necessarily, but it wasn't amazing either. It wasn't like I came out of that going, wow, okay, I'm so ready for the next season. I'm so excited, you know. It felt like it was missing something. However, I do think what they did with the first Doctor was very clever. I liked how they kind of started with old footage, like from the original episodes, from the original series with the original first Doctor. That was original a lot in one sentence, I'm sorry. And then they also ended with the original footage of the Regeneration. I thought that was really cool. I also like how they wrote in an explanation to why the Doctor looked different to, like, the original footage. I thought that was very clever. Well, not so much very clever, just a good way to handle it. I always find it really interesting to watch the different Doctors react to each other, just their different reactions to new things that the Doctor's picked up and old things that the Doctor used to do, and, you know, that kind of stuff is always really funny and really cool to watch. The only thing I didn't like about the whole bringing the first Doctor in was how incredibly sexist they made him. I mean, the first time he did it, I was kind of like, yeah, okay, I understand what they're trying to point out here, that, like, the first Doctor was around in a time where, you know, that kind of speech was unfortunately something that was normal. But the fact that they kept on bringing it back to that constantly, that kind of annoyed me a lot. It shouldn't have been like that. I mean, I haven't seen much of the first Doctor, so maybe that's just what he was like, but I highly doubt that's what it was like. I don't know, it didn't seem right. Wow, my voice went really croaky there. But anyway, moving on. Another cool thing that happened in the special was Bill came back, which was great, even though I already knew that it was happening because I'm a massive nerd and keep up with Doctor Who news, but that's not the point. I have to admit, I'm a little confused. They didn't really explain where Heather went, or whether this is even the same Bill that we saw fly off with Heather, because in the end we just found out that she was memories. So does that mean that it's a different incarnation of Bill to the one that's flying around the universe with Heather, or is it the same one and we just never explained where Heather went in this special? That aside, it was nice to have her back for one last episode, especially after the really harrowing Cybermen story. But of course, there is something that happened this Christmas special that was very sad. Obviously, I'm talking about the Doctor's regeneration. I mean, I lost it before he was actually even saying his goodbyes to people. Like, I knew it was coming, and we kind of wrapped up the whole mini plot story arc with the soldiers and everything, and yeah, I was gone because I knew what was coming, and I was just like, nope, can't do this. The fact that the Doctor got to say goodbye to Clara as well as Nardole and Bill was really great, but it kind of also made it sadder because if they were there and they're basically just the memories of the dead, that would mean that Nardole definitely died, which is, you know, sad, because there was a chance he could have survived. And it does unfortunately also mean that Clara didn't get out of her death back in Series 9. Though I kind of already assumed that, you know, one day she would have to go back and actually die and keep the timeline straight. But they confirm that the Doctor does remember her now, which makes it a little bit easier to bear, in a way. Not really. It was still very sad. But still. But yes, with the goodbyes out of the way, the Doctor stepped back into his TARDIS and gave his final words as the 12th Doctor. I said it wasn't fair at the beginning that they used music from the 9th and 10th Doctor era. It was also extremely unfair that they used the same speech and then extended on the same speech that the 12th Doctor was giving to Clara when he was saying goodbye to her. And then out of nowhere, the Doctor starts talking about how he can't tell anyone his name and gives away some pretty big hints, considering we knew nothing about it until now, about what it might be. I actually have the quote here. He said, "Except children. Children can sometimes hear it if their hearts are in the right place, and the stars are too. Children can hear your name." I mean, of course, it's Moffat. It makes no sense whatsoever. I watched a panel once where Stephen Moffat said that he knew how he wanted the Doctor's name to be revealed and he knew what the Doctor's name was. So I guess he added this in so he could still have that, I guess, eventually happen, even though he's no longer really writing for the show. But seriously, children can only hear it when the stars are in the right place? Was he named after a constellation or something? Or is it some kind of big grand plan because, you know, silence will fall when the question is answered? I mean, I don't know, it's Moffat, it could be anything. And then, once our brains are all overloaded with feels and new information and I'm bawling my eyes out, he actually regenerates. Now, I made a video a few months back expressing my opinions on having a female Doctor, and if you watched that, you'd know that I was kind of hesitant about it, but I was willing to give it a shot. So I have to say I was pleasantly surprised with Jodie Whittaker's performance at the end of that episode. I think they handled it quite well because there were those few seconds where the Doctor was just completely shocked and slightly horrified, and that was quite funny. But then she kind of accepted it and was really excited about it, which is kind of cool because, you know, it's something new that the Doctor hasn't experienced yet. So, you know, I thought that that was quite an authentic kind of reaction to it. It was good. I also would not complain if she brought back the word brilliant from Tennant's era. The whole TARDIS blowing up thing afterwards was a bit overkill, I think. I mean, I get the 12th Doctor's regeneration kind of blew up half the TARDIS as it is, but I just think it was very, very metaphorical for, like, the end of Moffat's era. Boom, it's done. I just, you know, it's... And on the topic of that, I think that might have been the problem with this episode. The whole thing was just one big metaphor, you know, with the memories thing that, you know, no matter what the Doctor looks like, you know, he'll always, or she in this case, will always have the same memories and therefore still be the Doctor. And, you know, that's all fair and well, but I feel like they could have done something better with it. I mean, instead of having this message as the focus, it could have been a side message. And they could have done something with the plot where the 12th Doctor maybe went, okay, well, I'm seen as this war doctor by this archive and all the terrible things that I've done. Maybe I should try something different. And then that subconsciously led to the change of gender when he regenerated. You know, they could have done something that tied in the fact that he's now female. It's just, like I said previously, I feel like the decision should have been because they wanted to explore a new plot element, not for political correctness. And I'm not going to go into another massive rant about this because I did that in the other video, but I just feel like this Christmas special confirmed that the main reason they decided to turn the Doctor female was not for plot. And that does disappoint me a lot. But realistically, at this point in time, it's done. There's nothing we can do about it, and, you know, it's not the end of the world. I think that despite the fact that they chose to bring in a female Doctor for the wrong reasons, there's still a chance that they could do it well. So I want to go into season 11 with an open mind and hope that Doctor Who will still be Doctor Who. Like, they won't center it around this political correctness. They will still make episodes that we love and enjoy despite everything that's happened. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. But anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. Feel free to leave your opinions on the Christmas special in the comments section below. As always, I'm happy to see other people's views on this topic because I find them quite interesting, so long as you do it in a respectful manner. Please like this video if you enjoyed it, and feel free to subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of my videos. And I will see you all next time. Bye!